Sure. Well, thanks for having me on. My name is Steven Helmick. I am an assistant principal at Roberts Elementary in the Little Rock School District in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I am also one of the organizers of Ed Camp Arkansas that will be happening on September 16th this fall. For all of you that are out there that are saying, why in the world would you have something in the fall on a Saturday? Do not worry. Razorbacks do not play on that weekend. I made sure I triple checked the schedule for that. That is their off week. So educators, that is a perfect way to earn 6 hours of PD in a very participant-driven, organic way. One of the reasons why I wanted to help get something like this started was that, there are ed camps all around. Everywhere. However, there wasn't a whole lot going on in Little Rock, and there are so many educators that were in the same boat that I was when I was in the classroom as a fifth grade teacher, where PD was in a can, and it was given to you. And if you've taught for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, or if you're the brand new teacher, everybody would say, here's the PD you're getting today. And it was the same stuff for everyone, and it wasn't effective for the new teacher. It wasn't effective for the teacher that's been doing what they've been doing for 20 years. And so ed camps provide just an excellent way for the people that come to have an opportunity to share, hey, here's what I'm struggling with, here's what I want to learn about, and then those that are around them can collaborate, they can innovate together, and we don't know what people are going to need on September 16th, but the beautiful thing is the people that are coming, they know what they need.
Right.
And so they'll get that on September 16th. And so we're super excited. You can check us out on Twitter at EdCamp Arkansas or on Facebook at EdCamp Arkansas.
Cool. Awesome. That is so cool. So now you did a session here.
Yeah,
Let's
so
talk about you and your session here.
Well,
and then we'll jump back to EdCamp again because, we were going to talk EdCamp too, but let's talk about what you did here.
You know what? Actually, I have just been a participator here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
And so, as I was here, though, there are just so many things that I'm excited about. One thing that I've been thinking, what will I do next year when I come to Innovation Institute?
Yeah.
Will be doing a PD on how to have Twitter chats within your school as PD.
Yes.
And so, the school that I'm at, Roberts Elementary in Little Rock, we have 900 students, K through 5, around 40 classroom teachers, 100 staff members. And it's a large school. And then how in the world do you connect? How do you make something large feel small? And what I've found this year is that our staff, we've had Twitter chats that we do every 2 weeks that our district has given us technology PD hours for.
Wow.
And so I'm like, man, how awesome is that where you can have PD in your PJs, you can be chilling at the house, on your phone, on your laptop. And so what we do is we just throw out about 4 questions every 2 weeks, give the teachers some time to chew on that, and then we meet at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and I pop out the questions, and then our teachers collaborate and connect that way. And it's been a really cool way. We've had some kindergarten teachers connect with 5th grade teachers where they've started having their kids go to each other's classrooms and connect that way. So a super cool way, a real easy way for people to not only earn PD hours, but to connect with their peers that they might not get to on a day in, day out basis.
Yes,
That is very cool.
You guys ever have anyone come in from the outside to your Twitter chat?
We have, we've had our superintendent pop in every once in a while. We've had Johnny Key, Commissioner of Ed, pop in every once in a while and stuff too. We've had some people pop in, which, those are some people sometimes have said, hey, come check out what we're doing. One thing that we have done that people might want to consider too, the hashtag that we use is just kind of this random hashtag. So that way, if teachers want to have the privacy of sharing something, just some random person out on Twitter isn't going to go and necessarily find what's going on. Yeah. So lots of great ways that you can do that. But it's been a lot of fun too. And we're trying to, my goal is I'd love to have our entire staff jump on board for that. But, for those that are interested, we have on average 15 to 20 teachers that are doing that. And they've said that, the one thing that they love is that it has connected them in a way that wouldn't have been possible outside of technology. So very cool.
Yeah, that's the best thing about Twitter chats. They really broaden your mind. We do a lot EdTech After Dark. We don't host one, but we show up to a whole bunch.
Absolutely.
And we've gotten to the point where we make graphics for our answers so that we can throw them out there so they've got that graphic after the fact if they want to.
Absolutely.
And that works out really well. So I have to throw it out to you today then. Last session, as I said in the opening keynote this morning, B103 is the demo slam. You need to go and present.
Okay.
You need to do that presentation about your idea for coming back here and doing that.
Cool.
Next year's a presentation.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great one. So along that line, what's caught your eye here at this institute this time? Anything caught your eye? You're like, yeah, that's a new tool for the bag right there.
Yeah, one of the things that I really have loved yesterday, just how do you consistently innovate? And I'm super huge on not just using technology for technology's sake. I love that the conversations that we're being focused on, it's about the learning, it's about the kids, it's not about the tool.
Right.
And so, it sounds simplistic, but when you get in the classroom, sometimes I think it's real easy for people to lose the mindset of, hey, I'm going to use Seesaw, or I'm going to use Bunsen, or I'm going to use whatever, but it's like, okay, why are we using those things? Yes. And so that's the key for me. There are so many great things that people have talked about or communicated about, and I think that I forget who shared with us, but on day one they said, take one thing and run with it, and there's going to be 20 or 30 things that you're exposed to. That was you. It was the EdTech guys. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I think that's just so true. I think that it's easy when you come to something like this. Your mind can just be inundated with just stuff. And I think for me, it wasn't just like one app or one program. For me, I think it's just like when I go into next year, how do I communicate to my staff? How do I communicate to myself that, okay, it's about the students, it's about the kids, all day, every day.
Yep. Yes.
Great we're using these technology programs, great that we're using these apps, but if we're just using those to replace a paper and pencil, all we have is the glorified paper and pencil.
That's right.
And so how do we expand student learning? How do we make it fun? How do we make it engaging? And if you keep the kids as the center of that, you're good.
Yeah, you're going to reach a lot more.
Yep.
So now let's turn tables again.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's my biggest deal. We do a lot of conferences, and we do this at a lot of conferences. And the thing that we notice is it's easy to get caught up in the waves crashing against the shore of a conference. And it's like, do I go on the surfboard? Do I lay out on the beach? Do I make a sandcastle? No, pick one thing. You've got time, and do it well.
Yep.
Grab a hold of it, and it'll be enough. It'll be enough for you, I promise you, because you're not going to make that all happen the next year. But that brings us back to EdCamp. So let's jump back into that one.
Sure.
Because I love the idea, and I'm glad we're having one hosted here in Little Rock. I think that's awesome.
Sure.
That's good. It's really great. But there's a really interesting thing, is it's peer instruction. It's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
And so let's talk about the folks that are going to be there. Have you got a lot of registrants yet? Or have you?
We just opened up registration the other day, but we've already have about 20 people that have registered. We've been posting stuff on Twitter. Yeah. We're hoping for hundreds of people to come. Yep. Anywhere from K through 12, just to be engaged in that.
Well, 20 is great since you just opened. That's
sure.
Great. That's a great number to start off with.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And then start to catch steam.
Yeah, we're really excited. I've already the exciting part is that we've connected with some people here that have said, hey, we're taking this back to our district. We're going to promote it when teachers come back, get them engaged. We're in the early stages, but my hope is that we can get a ton of people there, not for the sake of having a ton of numbers, but so that way we have more bodies that can collaborate together, which will be phenomenal. There are so many. If all the time, I see on Twitter people talking about if you're on an island as an educator, you're in trouble. Yeah. And it's so true. And it's just like ed camps will provide those. It's not a sage on a stage. Right. It's not here's my presentation. It's hey, I'm really struggling with how to innovate, or I'm struggling with classroom management, or I'm struggling with this, and someone else is like, hey, here's what's working for me, and we have that conversation.
And just the idea of in an ed camp situation where you see someone facilitate in that setting, and you realize, I get the facilitation aspect now, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have those facilitators stand up and go, great, let's, we're going to help you get a hold of this pony and rein it in. And so they not only are they going to get help, they're going to also see how facilitation works. And that's a big deal, I think, for a lot of teachers.
Sure.
Just like a classroom where those students that you have that are not going to say a word.
Absolutely.
Teachers the same way.
Yep.
And they show up. But in this setting, they can sit there and be quiet the whole time.
Sure.
And they're still going to learn something.
Sure.
They're going to get a little stronger and a little braver. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what ed camp does. I think that's what I've noticed.
Yeah, and some things that we're kind of tweaking around, as we're having conversations with people, is we would love to, this isn't as much participant driven, but at the end we would love to have kind of as a wrap up of trying to get as many Arkansas Teacher of the Years that we've had come to the ed camp, and then have like a panel session of, hey, here are some of the leaders in our field. What questions do you have for them?
Throw them out.
Just throw them out there and let them have that, because there are too few times that we can truly connect with those teacher leaders, and just kind of empowering them, making those connections. And then, I saw in the presentation earlier this morning that ball pit, making the connections with people. So if we can find anyone out there to get a ball pit for us or something like that, to just sit and meet some people you don't know, that would be fun too.
That would be awesome.
That would be very
So
cool.
are you guys going to throw out some strands to help them get going? Is that, have you guys picked those strands? Have you guys decided anything like that?
We haven't, and so I think that what our hope is over this summer is to just get ideas from people. It's pretty organic in nature right now, in terms of what we wanted. Ed Camp Arkansas actually has been around for quite a few years. Central Arkansas, UCA, hosted it. And Dr. Michael Mills, he's a professor there, and he was running it, and I had just a connection with him. One of his son went to our school, and I was talking with him about wanting to do an ed camp in Little Rock, and he was just like, we want to pass this off to K-12. Mm-hmm. We feel like that should be in the hands of K-12 educators, and so we're running with it now in Little Rock. So we're super excited, but it is very organic in nature, and just excited to see kind of what people bring to the table, and seeing how this year goes. And then I'm sure that there will be plenty of things that we can grow from and learn from, but the exciting thing is that when you pull teachers together that love to collaborate, love to connect, good things happen.
And that's one of the things about ed camps in general. If done, I don't know if right is the right word, or done well, or whatever, but generally speaking, when you have an ed camp that you're starting up, it's organic anyhow, right? You've got folks who are sort of coming together, and kind of they sort of generate their own strands or their own kind of umbrella topics, and then they break off into the little collaborative groups for the allotted amount of time, and then it's time to shuffle up and deal, and everybody, let's come back, okay? Now, shift around, and now maybe you didn't talk about this particular topic, this one time, so you can go and talk about this particular topic. They are very organic. It's it's such a different way to learn from each other. It's a completely different experience than most conference type experiences
out there. It really is.
Yeah, we had at our school this year, we had a tech day, and it wasn't totally participant driven, but we had like kind of 15 things, kind of like the Innovation Institute here, of just things that you could, breakout sessions you could go to, and we had 4 per hour that our teachers could choose to go to, but that were delivered by teachers in our building. Yeah. And the teachers just unanimously said, this was the first time that I've had something that I had choice in. Mm-hmm. But then the powerful thing about that, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, is that then these kind of clusters of teachers were like, hey, we learned about this today, but I was thinking about this, and they went back to their classrooms, they went back to their flex spaces or pods, and started having those kind of organic conversations, and some really cool stuff has come out of that. So, we're very hopeful that 6 hours on September 16th is powerful, but the true power will come from when they take that back to their classrooms, to their schools, and that learning continues. So,
so give us the contact information one more time for the listeners.
Absolutely. So, hashtag is #EdCampAR. The Twitter handle is EdCamp Arkansas. Facebook, EdCamp Arkansas. Keeping it simple. So, you can go to either of those places to find the registration. It's completely free. We're hoping to have lots of goodies for people. We love the idea. The Innovation Institute has had the food trucks. We kind of plan on doing that kind of concept too. But we hope to see everyone there. Cool. Invite your coworkers, your friends, your mom, your dad, whoever is interested in learning, and we would love to have them there.
So share your information too, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So Steven Helmick, and you can find me on Twitter. I keep it simple there as well. So at Steven Helmick, StevenHelmick, and I'm always looking for ways to connect with people, and I think that Twitter has truly rocked my world in the past couple of years of just dabbling in it at first, but then now just seeing like, man, connecting with people who you've read their books, you've researched stuff that they've done, and then bam, you send them a message, you post something on Twitter, and they're commenting to you. One of the coolest things I had a question for Adam Welcome, one of the writers of Kids Deserve It, a fantastic book, and I just threw it out there. Yeah. And within minutes, the author, who I would never be able to connect with before Twitter, is like, hey, check this out, do this, do that. And I'm just like, that's powerful.
It is.
It's super powerful. So at Steven Helmick, man, I love throwing stuff out there, love connecting with fellow Arkansas educators and those around the world.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well, before you go, we have a little tchotchke for you.
That's right.
You've now been interviewed by the EduTech.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
And you guys look even better in person.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know about that, but
like we said, we have faces for radio.
That's right.
Thanks, fellas.